the left-hand side, you can see the billboards for the upcoming shows in the Usher Hall and the Royal Lyceum. These two are main venues for the Edinburgh International Festival, which is coming up in August. Starts on the 4th of August this year. The Usher Hall is a 2,200 seater. About to say 200, that doesn't make any sense. 2,200. Part of the wall remains today. You can see the walkway there on the right hand side. A famous night watchman in Edinburgh was John Gray, known as Old Jock. He was the owner of Greyfriars Bobby, whose statue is coming up on the left hand side. You can see his pub on the right. The story of Greyfriars Bobby goes back to the 1850s, when John Gray and his family moved to Edinburgh. They come from here. They were looking for employment, like many people in those. Expected huge numbers this year. So that's Castle Hill up there on the left, Edinburgh Castle up at the very top. We've also got the Scotch Whisky Experience. You get 10% off the tours there with your bus ticket, and also the Camera Obscura, which is well. The university owns somewhere, they say between about 60 to 65%. Well, some of it's student accommodation, some of it isn't. When we get a bit further down, this is the student parts here on the right. This is the theatres, and these will become very popular in the international festival, and particularly the Fringe Festival. A lot of the performances take place here on the right hand side. You can see that they're part of the university. And here you've got the students' gym. Go back to the story of Greyfriars Bobby. Is Enrique Morales. Fortunately, he's passed on. He died in the year 2000 of a brain tumour before the Parliament was complete. So his wife took over the project in his stead, even I can't talk to him, and saw it through to completion. And the Scottish Parliament was opened on October the 9th, 2004 by Queen Elizabeth II.
2004. The year 20.
That's the information office there on the right for Holyrood Park.
Oh.
And these pools of water represent Scotland's freshwater lochs or lakes.
In 2099.
Of which there are over 30,000. There's 7,500 lochs in the Western Isles and the Hebrides alone. There are 3 lochs in Holyrood Park directly ahead. 2 of them are artificial. Dunsappy Loch and St. Margaret's. They were designed by Prince Albert, the consort of Queen Victoria. The only real loch on the far side is Duddingston Loch, which is where you find the village of Duddingston and the Sheep's Head, which is Scotland's oldest pub, dating back to 1360. It's also a bit of a royal pub as well, as it's been patronised by 3 monarchs: Mary Queen of Scots, James VI, and Elizabeth II. And on the right hand side we've got Dynamic Earth, which is a geological exhibition dedicated to the history of the formation of the planet Earth. And that was part of the Millennium Project in Edinburgh, which is why it looks a bit like the Millennium Dome down in London, otherwise known today as the O2 Arena. It was largely paid for by the National Lottery Fund. Geared towards younger audiences. I call it Disneyland for geologists, which it kind of is really. Yeah, so the pathway through to the Parliament's over there on the right hand side, where you see by Queen Elizabeth II. And you can go in there pretty much any time within reason. If you're going up the top of Arthur's Seats, I would definitely wear boots. And I wouldn't go up there if it's just been raining, because it gets incredibly slippery up there. And I know that from experience, it can get quite dangerous. If you're going up there, watch the weather forecast. Make sure it's not raining that day. If you get stuck up there when it's raining, good luck getting down. You have to take your time. I'll tell you that because that's what happened to me. On the right hand side, in the courtyards, there's the fountain. And that's not an original, that's a replica of an older fountain that you find in West Lothian at Linlithgow Palace, where Mary Queen of Scots was born back in 1542. Now that building on the right hand side, that used to be a stable, and nowadays it's a cafe. So if you go there with your bus ticket tomorrow, just a reminder it's closed today, if you go there tomorrow and your bus ticket's still valid and you buy a hot drink such as a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, you'll get a free sample of shortbread in the shape of a crown. The Queen's Gallery there on the right was opened in 2002 as part of Queen Elizabeth II's Golden Jubilee celebrations. It's closed at the moment. And on the right hand side is Mary Queen of Scots bathhouse, where she was said to bathe twice a year in wine and milk to rejuvenate her skin and keep her nice and young and healthy. This is stop 14 if anyone's getting off at this stop. Now, contrary to what you may have heard, it's not really true that medieval people never bathed. They actually bathed quite a lot in rivers. Have you ever heard the saying or the superstition or the etiquette, never put your elbows on the tables? Well, that comes from medieval times. Because if you put your elbows on the tables, a lot of people had beards back then, it meant you were tempted to scratch your beard. And all the bacteria and all the dust and all that and all the germs from your beard would fall into the food. That was a sure way to get thrown out of the feast. So that's where that comes from. I have to get up there. If you're going up there at a casual pace, that's the French Free House there on the right hand side, part of the French consulate here in Edinburgh. You'll also see the Swiss and American consulates a bit further along, up on the right hand side. Now these townhouses were designed by William Henry Playfair. They were part of the expanding Georgian Newtown around about the 1820s to 1968. And that was a Thomas Hamilton design. He was the same man behind Victoria Street and the George IV Bridge. A bit of a photo op here on the left hand side if you fancy taking some pictures. Great view of Holyrood Park. In fact, a little piece of trivia about this building on the right. The architect Thomas Hamilton didn't want to put in too many windows because he was afraid that the students and the teachers, come to that, would be so distracted by the great view on the left that they wouldn't concentrate on their schoolwork. It's also worth remembering a lot of the modern buildings that are here were not there back in the 1800s, nor